After the Hunt, starring Julia Roberts, Edebri, Andrew Garfield, Chloe Sevigny, Michael Stuhlbarg. Directed by Luca Guadagnino and written by Nora Garrett. This was, for the most part, basically what I was expecting going into it in the best way. I really enjoyed this. I have to say, sidebar, I usually go pee a lot during movies, and I didn't get up and go pee for this one. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Honestly, it was brilliant, sharp. To me, tonally, and like the Luca verse of it all, like Guadagnino and everything, I think it's very like I Am Love meets kind of a Call Me By Your Name, not specifically because of subject matter, but just you could tell, even though it's based like at Yale, like there's almost this like classic Italian feel to it. You know, there's sort of, romantic / relationship drama kind of thriller suspense feel that he wanted to weave into all of this, and I think it's done brilliantly. Tonally, I think it's very on point. I think this is sharp, it's intelligent, it's pitch perfect for it knows exactly what it's doing. Dialogue's sake, depending on who asks you. I think the fact that it's set in academia allows for a sort of verbose, wax philosophical inner exchange between characters in a way that doesn't bleed over into like pretension and services like the preachiness of what people are saying because they're philosophy. It's in the philosophy department. Michael Stuhlbarg steals every scene that he's in. I mean, this is probably the best him that I've seen. He gets to utilize all of his faculty, and like it's so good, so good. You have to see it as the doting but also fully recognized husband. I mean, it really is, their marriage dynamic is such a treat to endure. Actually, all of the relations between these characters is actually quite well. And I remember in the press junket they talked about rehearsing, and you can tell because there is such a sort of there's a dance between everyone happening here. They're all firing on cylinders in a way that I don't think you could just plop in and run and for production's sake to make this thing happen. The work is there, and it's so good. Julia Roberts, great. I figured from the trailer she'd be well cast. Perfect. I mean, this suits her. I mean, I love the rendition. I love her clothing. I love the way she moves. Again, this is, in that sense of, a character who has formed a life for themselves and crafted a certain, I would say, barrier, a certain persona, a certain way of achieving and getting everything they want. This film is very much about, basically who are you willing to be to get everything that you want in some way, shape, or form. And so, she's a very tracked person, one-track mind. They hint at this sort of a goal objective between her and Andrew Garfield. They're both going for tenure in their friendship, their dynamic. And the movie plays with, who these people are, like it's in the sense of who we see them to be and who they want in relation to what they're after. And I think it does a really good job of doing that. It's it's stylish, it's tasteful. There's definitely a love and a feel for like that sort of, I don't know, there's like this 60s and 70s style of like, back when those like, listen, New York heat is on, these pipes are blazing, the window's going to be open, sorry. There's this level of style, like in the 70s sort of follow you around kind of way. And then the score, I have to say, by Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor did a really good job of such a unique and almost out of place scoring that somehow fits into this in a weird way. I felt it there was only one scene where I felt it too overbearing for what was happening, and that's between Stuhlbarg and Roberts, where she's on the couch and they're having an exchange dialogue where she's resting her feet on his legs, and it's playing a bit too loud over what they're saying in a way where this is one of the few moments where this couple is actually, talking to each other, and I think it does kind of lose a little bit of like, oh, this is like a moment of connection versus like, well, the score is actually doing a lot of the work, and I kind of felt that was a bit of a misstep. But otherwise, very interesting, like, doing these. You don't hear these kind of nods to like the old classic suspense, like these real pops of orchestra and pops of instrument at certain points, often random, but they totally highlight what's going on in the moment. And so I really enjoyed that. Somehow it captures the climate of today. Again, being in academia makes it so that it doesn't come off too preachy, because this is kind of the environment where people would speak a bit more freely and a bit, you wouldn't sculpt, subtext over dialogue. So it works for this. I think it's smart that it was happening on campus and happening in academia, because you can sort of get away and flush out a lot of the things that happen here. Each scene honestly builds on itself. I mean, I think this is sequential writing at its best. There's each scene is captured in its own essence, and there's a tension, and then a release. There's a tension and a release, like a build and boom, beginning, middle, end. I mean, it's very smartly and tightly put together, and with Luca's direction, I think this is some of the best direction he's had personally. I'm very fascinated. I mean, he's been on a roll, doing 3 movies and all this. I mean, he's really, really, really on a roll. So, kudos to him. The accuracy in portraying privilege, sophistication, marriage, complacency, narcissism, ego, shame, ambition, social dynamics, reconciliation, guilt, truth, what that means to all of us and individually. Just really, it was a treat to watch. I mean, we were all of us who were in the theater. There were moments where there was comedy and moments of poignancy, and the reactions were on point, and all of us were sort of in this congruent sort of flow of the story that was being told. And I really do think it was very well done. Subject matter included as well as aside. Just the style, fantastic. The ending I find interesting. It does a jump. All I'll say is it does a 5-year jump, and I still don't know what to think of it. It's a meeting again between Io, Edebri, and Julia after the fallout of everything, and I'm not quite sure what to take of it. I think in the end, really, it just sums up and affirms what was going on the entire time, but I'm still not sure. And that's where that's like the only dip off I have. I was kind of like, because it's not even resolute within itself. So I found it an odd cap to what was such a smartly and like well, paced and well happened movie. So I don't know what to think of. What I will say though, Maggie as a character, not specifically as a black character, I'm assuming she was not written that way. It would make sense that she was not. I do have issues with that portrayal being a young black woman, because I'm just not sure in everything that the film is tackling. I'm not sure if they're prepared to address like the repercussions of placing a black woman in this type of scenario and situation, especially coming from one of such privilege and assumed sway and power within on campus. And I won't talk about how it was portrayed by Io Edebri, who brought her essence and did her thing. I just find that was probably as the story was unfolding and what everything was about and doing, I was kind of like, okay, just for a multitude of reasons, her sexuality, sure, the sort of explanation at the end of this affinity and wanton longing for the position that this white woman has, but there was something about that where I was kind of like, I wonder if did it need to happen for the film to get made, for in the end for the casting for her to be black and non-white, for a little bit of dynamism, but I didn't quite. I was like, it's not quite working. But hey, also in today's climate, if that were to happen, there would be, I think an overcorrection, especially given the sway that she has in her family. So it makes sense. That was my only hiccup, though. But all that aside, honestly, I totally recommend go see it. If you were interested, definitely go see it. If you're not interested, go. I mean, if it was something like maybe, just go see it. I honestly think it might. I think it's got a great contention for best screenplay of the year. Honestly, best original screenplay. I found it to be so tight. I mean, I don't know if it's adapted or not. I don't know. But I think best screenplay, fantastic. Scoring was great. intelligent, poignant, witty, timely, entertaining, all around great job. This has been my take. Like and subscribe for more reviews, reactions to movies and trailers like this. And until next time, keep watching.